Hi class, this is Laura Cantrell here. I'm in my classroom, my 8th grade art classroom after school, and I wanted to share my recreation of a piece of conceptual art with you. Since I'm currently really interested in conceptual art because of my thesis, I wanted to grab at this opportunity to talk about one of my favorites, the Cuban-American installation artist Felix Gonzalez-Torres. Gonzalez-Torres is perhaps most well known for his minimalist installations of string lights, clocks, and piles of candy. My focus is drawn to the latter, obviously, for the sake of our iconography and iconology discussion. Specifically, I wanted to look at this 175-pound pile of candy. This is not 175 pounds, this is only 5 pounds. And the original one that was 175 pounds was titled Untitled, and in parentheses, Portrait of Ross in LA. I have recreated this piece on a 1/35th scale to help illustrate the gravity of this piece's meaning. This piece lends itself well to the iconography methodology in that there are many elements that rely on symbolism and viewer interpretation. For instance, the candy, and ask ourselves a lot of things like, why is there candy? Why is there so much candy? And can I have a piece? If you were cued by the gallery signs in the actual gallery, you would know that yes, you may take a piece of candy. But as we enjoy this piece of candy, let's think about the iconography of the candy. Because just as Panofsky showed us the religious symbolism in common objects, there is perhaps a deep spiritual meaning to be found in this candy. In modern society, candy is regarded, and just ask my students, it's regarded as a sweet treat to be ingested. Being in the presence of this type of candy is tantalizing to the senses. Visually, the colors trigger a retinal response that sends joyous endorphins throughout our body. The sweet, fruity smell, as well, and the crinkling noise of the plastic wrapper triggers our glands to release saliva, just like Pavlov's dogs. Eating the candy is satisfying. Simply put, this candy is joy. The appearance of the pile is also important in making meaning of this piece. The pile starts off at a whopping 175 pounds. Like I said, mine's only 5 pounds, so imagine this is sort of a 1/35th scale. And as people take their share, taking more of my fair share here, the pile diminishes. In a normal gallery setting, the pile gets replenished on a regular basis. So there is a constant cycle of being full and then withering away. This cycle is symbolic, I probably don't have to tell you, but it's symbolic of a life cycle. We are here, and then often our bodies experience an affliction that takes away our life little by little, just like people eating away at a pile of candy. The artist gives us a hint at what memory he was reliving with this piece, and it is the life of his partner, Ross. At full health, Ross weighed 175 pounds, the same amount as the candy in the gallery. AIDS took that life just 2 years before it claimed the artist's own life. The history of the culture from where this piece was made adds to its meaning. Those of us who are familiar with the 1980s and 1990s are familiar with sort of the AIDS scare, especially in the homosexual community. The act of participating in eating and taking of this candy, here, you want a piece, is another part that parallels life. If the candy is Ross, then we're a bit like cannibals. Perhaps in life, Ross was not eaten away literally by other people, but at the height of the AIDS crisis in the 1980s and 90s, the media attention of AIDS and the homosexual community tore away at the victims' lives. Aside from the grim cannibal side of this candy happening, there is a tenderness about being able to experience the sweetness of Ross. The choice of candy to represent the life of his lover is an act of love. Felix Gonzalez-Torres was once questioned about who his public was, and his answer was Ross. Once the viewer is able to make these sorts of connections between life, love, and loss, a more personal meaning is derived from the work. These are feelings that resonate with viewers, calling attention to their own experiences with losing a loved one. For me, it brings about a pang of sadness for a close friend, Crystal, who lost her battle to cancer just 7 months ago. However, this piece also helps to draw me out of that sadness by understanding how Crystal's existence, as short as it was, brought joy to the world, much as this pile of candy will bring joy to my class tomorrow. Though her body is no longer here, the memory and spirit of those joyous moments shared with her continue to grow. So, all in all, the strength of this methodology is, I feel like it's very strong in dealing with conceptual work because there's not necessarily that really hard reliance on formal matters, but instead we do get to look more at the symbolic and conceptual side of the artwork. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy a nice piece of candy. I'm sorry, this isn't like smell-o-vision. I'd let you smell it too. It's so good. Take care.